I am your host, Respectfully Gabby, and in this podcast, we talk all about dating and relationships. And today, we have a very special guest, Big Lexi. Wait, that was so bitch. Good. We did not plan that, I swear to God.
In this house, bitch.
Before we get started, we're going to take a little shot.
Okay.
So,
thanks, host. Hostess with the mostest. Gabby
my
invited
Dave
me because you know I'm about to talk that shit. All right, we decided we're going to do this Jaeger bomb style.
Okay.
It's tequila. This
It's
makes
tequila and
sense.
Celsius. It doesn't really make... I don't know how to do this.
Just drop.
Okay, I first wanted to start off by how we met because I feel like it's a preface moving into what we're talking about today. So, did you want to explain the story?
Long story short, because we got a lot to talk about today. Basically, I was on a boat with Gabby. Gabby knew of me.
By the way,
didn't know of her.
By the way, this was an athlete's boat, and we both have the same type of, or like I did at the time, but athletes.
Same type. Down for the fucking
and had no idea who she was, showed up at this boat, followed each other on Instagram, and then we realized that there was a mutual following. And what do you do when there's a mutual following? You investigate.
You investigate. But honestly, I didn't even investigate too much. So the guy that I was with for like the past year, we were kind of like friends with benefits, besties. And we would like film together, do content together, act like we liked each other when we were together and like hook up. And then that was it. He actually reached out to me immediately and was like, you were on the boat with someone I used to hook up with. Because we would share our rosters with each other and stuff. It was a very like kind of toxic relationship looking back on it. But we were like cool with that. And he was like, you know, you were on the boat with someone that I've hooked up with. And it was really
Oh my God, no, seriously, I had no idea. The way that I found out was I went on your profile. I'm like, I remember looking at this girl's profile before, but I wasn't sure from where. And then I went to your videos and I saw that he was in your video. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, we both fucking the same guy.
Yeah. We would like, and honestly, when we went back through the timeline, shit was definitely overlapping, okay? And we've definitely got some shit to say about that relationship.
Yeah.
Like, we both didn't enjoy the relationship, looking back on it.
Yeah, no.
And the timelines aren't adding up. They overlap.
Something's not.
He would leave me, he would stop where you live, and I thought he was seeing a friend, but then he'd be bike riding and
no, that was a different
grabbing
girl.
your ass.
Wait, no,
later.
That was definitely a different girl.
All right, whatever.
I never went bike riding.
Literally. What is
yeah, but more to come on that. We actually wanted to talk more so on athletes and dating athletes because I feel like that's where we met. That's where we started. And I think that's
where our mutual pie chart lies.
A lot of mutual overlapping. And I feel like there's like a very specific girl that like dates athletes, but I'm curious how you like got into dating athletes, how like
I want to know when it started for you. Mine was college.
Me too.
Like, but transferring to the university, and I transferred as a junior, and we both went to D1 athletic schools. You guys are D1 basketball, football, everything? Yeah, same. So that's really where it started. And it's funny, when I got there, I wasn't into them, but I was like the new girl in town, and they were all, it was a game. Who can get her first? Who can smash first?
Okay, wait.
I loved it because of the attention until I let the first one smash, and then all of them were like, thought that they could smash too.
So, yeah.
Like, she's
they
bait
talk
now.
They talk like, I mean, like.
You're naive if you think they all aren't talking about you.
Yeah. And also, like, I used to get into a lot of traps because, like, of the mutual followings of athletes. They're like, oh, how do you know this person? I'm like, oh, shit.
No one ever would call me out about that.
Always. I mean, always calling me out. I just, like, at a point, and I'm kind of glad. I feel like they're very strategic about their following. They won't follow.
Oh, God, like, you're about to open a can of worms.
Yes, I think we need to go there because I feel like athletes intentionally don't follow girls that they want or hook up with because they want like a clear record.
Right.
You know, like that's my...
I would love to know. I actually have an athlete bestie. Should we call him and see what the logic is?
Right.
Yep.
Can I get your input on a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. So the episode is on athletes specifically.
Yep.
And since you were a former athlete, I wanted to get your take on this. So me and my friend are talking about how athletes don't follow, like they're very intentional about who they follow. So I'm curious if you had any like input on that.
Honest with you, red flags more often than not. The guy has a girlfriend, crazy girlfriend, baby mama, something that checks who they're following. It's easier to delete DMs whenever so-and-so is around. So that's like one of the things. And then a lot of times too, like a lot of these dudes, I've been there as well, think very, 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 very highly of themselves and let kind of that blue check get to their heads. And so it's kind of just like the whole like ratio thing.
Okay, so there you have it.
So I feel like, honestly, besides just like they all have a big ass head, especially if they're in front of the camera a lot and, you know, things like that. But I feel like for the single ones, it's just like you're a body to them. And if they're trying to fuck, like, you know, what's the point of following? They're going to go to your DMs. If you're an easy kill, like you're responding and they haven't even followed you back. Like, what's the point of them needing to follow you? Because after they fuck, they're unfollowing anyways, most of the time. Some of the time.
Okay, have you ever gotten like caught up where you were like messing with two guys from the same team, or you just like knew two guys that knew each other?
100%. And I didn't have no shame in that game. I didn't go after football players because they were football players.
Right.
To me, if you're a D1 football player, you're not that cool and you're not that special.
Yeah.
I just like athletic men, and it just so happens to always be football players, especially in college. So yeah, I went through like a few people, but from different classes, but they definitely knew about each other. Yeah. And so to that, I don't think any of them, I only talked to like one or two seriously, and they didn't care because at the time they had me.
Okay.
So when they had me, they didn't give a fuck about anyone else.
But did you actually date them?
There was two that I'd say. One I really liked, and he really liked me. Mm-hmm. But then he went to the draft like a month after we met.
Like, peace, I'm out.
And there was one who had already like moved on. He was like a fifth year maybe. He had already stopped playing football.
Okay.
And we came pretty close to dating, and then he fucked up pretty badly. So
as they always do. I mean, honestly, if you're in college and you're a football player, there's no reason for you to be dating. Like, there's no reason for it to be in a relationship.
And personally. I don't think, unless it's their shorty from back home, that they have like ties, like when they love and they like have a girl, it's like I feel like they never get over them. So if it's their shorty from back home, that's the ones they try to keep in college, but they never try to wife up a bitch on campus or at the university. No, absolutely not. It's always the girl from back home that they had before they went into college, and they're like in love with and won't let go, but they'll cheat on them every week.
Yeah. I mean, they're all I feel like there's probably a good like 1% or 2% of athletes that are actually faithful and like real, but that's why I don't like athletes so much anymore.
Right. I honestly just like that level of athleticism. I'm a bodybuilder, so it's just like, but it's funny because I don't like basketball players. It's always football.
Yeah.
But it's
they're
like
thicker. They're more meter. Okay, and another thing about athletes, I feel like they're so good about like gassing you up until they get what they want.
Oh.
They're like, they make you feel like you are the only girl in the world, and then completely drop you. Like,
and if you're a naive college girl, anything,
oh my God,
insecure, anything fucking goes. I had this one guy, let's call him Robert, and he had me in a fucking chokehold, and he was serially known for saucing me the fuck up, bro. Like, he would tell me anything under the sun, like, oh, I never kiss bitches, I love kissing you, like, you're different. This is just for you. This is all. And like all serially, I would like, I knew he was a fuck boy. I knew that he was toxic. And so I would like go like a couple times without hooking up with him. And then when he finally reeled me in and I gave it up, boom, unfollow and ghost me for 2 months and then come in my life. And it was a serial thing. And I put up with it for a minute. I remember one time he came for spring break and he stayed in every night instead of going out with his bros until he finally fucked me.
Wait,
and then as soon as he fucked, getting so weird, left my house, unfollowed me when he got back to set.
Oh my God. Very fucking similar situation. The night that we were out, met an athlete. I'm like, you know what? This is not my type anymore, but let me give it a little shot because he seems very different from the rest of them. He was being very kind. He's like, I got you for tonight. Don't worry about it.
He was older too, right?
No, he's actually younger.
What?
He was
the
younger.
one we just met at Story.
Yeah. He was younger
I thought
than
it was
me.
like 28.
No, he was like 26.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so I stayed with him all weekend. Nothing happened, and was juicing me up. He took me out to like the restaurant that we went to. He wanted me to come back home with him, like drive back to his like house, whatever, because he wasn't from Miami. But then, as soon as he left, literally no word. Did not hear from him at all.
He definitely gave me like I have a girl vibes.
Oh, for sure. Because the next week, he posted a video of a girl that he was at dinner with. Well, the final night he was there, he's like, why are you playing with me? I'm like, oh, well, I'm really glad that nothing happened because, like, that's clearly all you wanted.
Right. Well, these guys keep rosters of bitches in different cities.
Oh,
and
for sure.
They'll always try to find new bitches, but they have the 3 or 4 they can fall back on for quick, easy access to hook up. And if you didn't know that was
you literally have a
it's
situation.
And they'll always pick new pussy over old pussy. Like, I had one guy that I hooked up with, best sex of my life. Like, we did everything under the sun. It was amazing. The connection was there. He ended up coming back to Miami like 3 weeks later for Pro Day. And like slid into one of my friend's DMs, and I was like, he's back in town, and we literally just had the best sex, talked about it, couldn't wait to hook up again, texted about it the next day, like that was crazy, and literally didn't hit me up when he came back in town. He came back in town for 2 days, and he was hitting up new bitches.
Yep.
And I had called my D1 athlete friend, he gives me raw advice, and I said, hey, I'm gonna put you in a scenario. There's new bitch that you don't know what her coochie's like and you don't know what the sex is like, but there's your old bitch you just hooked up with or you have been hooking up with, best coochie ever, best sex ever, who you picking? He said new bitch. I said why? And he was like, because that bitch could have better coochie than your old bitch. So it's always just like new.
Like next best thing. I've already done that. In with the old, out with the new.
Yeah. Once you let them fuck,
it's game over.
You're old news.
You're old news.
You're not a thrill anymore. You're
irrelevant.
Not the chase. Yeah, irrelevant.
You know what's really funny? Okay, so more tea of like athlete has given me the inside scoop. Said that they go to each city and they have like basically orgies in different cities. Like every new city they go to,
orgies with who?
They bring new girls in and then just like hook up with them.
Oh, like pass them around the team.
Yeah. Like everyone's naked and they just go at it.
Oh, wait, what?
It's like a sex party.
Whoa.
Another guy that I used to talk to who was an NBA player told me that there was a designated rookie on the team who would buy condoms for all of the married people on that team, which is odd because I feel like they're probably fucking raw anyway. Like,
I think a lot of them are, and they don't care if they get caught because a lot of their girlfriends and wives, especially in the league, know what they're signing up for. Like, you have to know what you're signing up for. You have to know your place, or they're going to get a bitch that does know her place. And absolutely, it's so sad. But pretty much how it goes is if you're talking to a guy in the league, they'll literally pay you to shut the fuck up. So like, if you find out some shit and you cause some drama, like, why'd you follow this girl? Why'd you like this girl's pictures? It's like, here's the bag. Shut the fuck up. And these girls know their roles going into it.
I could never.
Bitch, you can't pay me to shut the fuck up.
I think it took me a really long time to come to that realization of like, this is not the life for me. Dealing with that is not something that I could do.
Right.
But props to the girls that do that. They go through a lot of shit.
It's really like hear nothing, see nothing, blinders on. Yeah. Because if it's not you that's shutting the fuck up and letting them still hook up with other girls, it's gonna be someone else.
Mm-hmm. To wrap this up, basically what we're saying is if you're gonna date athletes, know what you're getting into. You have to be okay with being like the quiet bitch. You can hit the comment, like, subscribe. Leave some feedback, and if you're on Spotify, please leave a rating. That would be lovely.
I love talking shit, but these men have done us dirty. Shame on you.
Having someone to relate to about this because none of my friends liked athletes. Maybe one. Actually, my college roommate liked athletes, but I love them. They're toxic.